Hello! Today I'm going to share with you a really cool and useful resource that will guide you in your journey of becoming a UX UI designer. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the beginning. A few weeks ago, I was invited to be part of this event, which was called From X to UX UI Designer and was dedicated for people who were switching roles to being a UX UI designer. I was so grateful to be part of this and to take part in the panel and share my experience regarding this industry and regarding my path. The team that organized this was amazing, and you could see that they really put their heart into it and they thought of each individual detail so that this event was perfect. One resource that they shared with each one of the participants at this event was this user journey map that I'm going to show you, which had the role of kind of guiding and inspiring the participants in the next steps that they should take and what should they expect in the journey of getting a role in this industry. So let's take a look. Let's start with the structure of the document. First, on the left side, we have the user persona with their motivations and frustrations. Then we have the following sections: phases, steps, actions, pain points, emotional experience, and last but not least, opportunities where you will find tips and tricks. Now, let's get to know our user persona. Emily has been working as a business analyst but decided to make a career change. She wants to work on innovative projects that have a positive impact on people's lives. Because she feels drawn to the creative and problem solving aspects of UX UI design, she intends to explore the field and find her niche. Emily recognizes that she has a lot to learn, but she's determined to stay focused as she develops her skills. Now, let's take a look at her motivations. Now, the motivations behind this career change are genuine interest in technology, desire to build impactful products, desire to work in collaborative, team oriented environments, and growing demand for UX UI designers. Now, it's not all that great because there are some frustrations, such as challenge of building a relevant portfolio that showcases enough projects, lack of a clear learning roadmap, difficulty in finding mentors who provide support and feedback, imposter syndrome, and high competition for entry-level positions. Now, how do you feel about this persona? Does it sound familiar with the challenges that you're facing? Now, a big shout out to the team for their creativity. The whole event was themed around space, so they named the phases in the user journey map similar to the phases of launching a rocket into the space. You can see that they are getting the spark, fueling up, warming the engine, seeking assistance, and finally taking off. Let's start with step number 1, discovery. The actions that she takes here are: discovers UX UI design throughout exposure at her current company, interviews designers to learn about their motivations, and researches UX UI design online. What are her pain points? Well, lack of direction and not knowing what resources to choose from. How does she feel? Well, she's enthusiastic at this point. Now let's talk a little bit about the opportunities and tips and tricks. First, don't get stuck in the phase of research. While research is critical in understanding whether a new career path suits you, it is just as critical to set a deadline for taking a decision and start your practical journey. Second, Start with some high quality, beginner friendly UX design blogs, ideal for gaining a solid introduction to the field. UX Planet, Career Foundry, the Nielsen Norman Group, and XD Ideas are some good examples. Next, listen to UX UI podcasts. High resolution, 99% invisible, wireframe, what is wrong with UX, UI breakfast, or user defenders are just some of the examples. And last but not least, take it one step at a time. Breaking down your learning process into small, manageable steps will make it less overwhelming and more achievable. Let's move on to the next phase, fueling up. The first step here is theoretical fundamentals. The action for this step is start learning the fundamentals of UX UI design, such as design thinking, user research, and prototyping through online tutorials and self study. The pain points of this step are lack of structure in the learning process, isolation and disengagement while studying alone, lack of accountability, and uncertain about the sufficiency of online theoretical knowledge for deeper understanding. Now, the tips and tricks for this step are: if you are an individual learner, Google UX Design Professional Certificate might be for you. The course covers theory and offers a portfolio-worthy project with peer review by colleagues. If you're a social learner, go for Mentor Academy. You'll gain the theoretical knowledge plus receive ongoing mentorship, feedback, and other valuable benefits. Another great option is Dribble's certified 16-week product design course. The live and self-paced video lectures offer structure and feedback without a full-time commitment. In this part of your process, learning hard skills is not as essential as training your mind to understand the user's needs. Now, it's time for step number 3, design tools skills. The actions that Emily takes here are: starts researching design tools and software, tries to understand which tool is the best one to start with, and starts practicing in Figma. Her pain points at this step are unsure which tools are the best to learn and struggles to get feedback and critique on the exercises she does in Figma. Here she feels motivated to learn more. The tips and tricks for this step are: 1. Consider starting with the free tool Figma before trying out other industry favorites like Adobe XD or Sketch. Next, stay up to date with tools, but don't get too attached to one as they constantly change and evolve. Stay inspired. Platforms such as Behance, Dribbble, and Awards spark creativity and give you a starting point when needed. Start studying the designs of websites and mobile apps you love with a critical eye. Take a few minutes to analyze what works so well for you. Finally, embrace the learning curve and be patient with yourself. Mistakes and setbacks are part of the learning process. It's time to move to the next phase, warming the engine. The step that we have here is building a portfolio. The actions that Emily takes here are: researches tips and tricks for making a UX UI portfolio, collects design pieces to decide what to include, and searches for portfolio examples online for inspiration. The pain points that she faces are limited portfolio projects or experience, uncertainty on showcasing specific skills, struggling to create a coherent narrative for the portfolio, and balancing design and content in the portfolio. At this step, she feels overwhelmed. Tips and tricks for this phase: 1. Common types of UX UI case studies for your portfolio before landing your first design job. Course assignments, working on projects within a design course. Unsolicited redesigns, redesigning a familiar app or website. Passion projects, building a concept app or website from scratch. And volunteer projects, working on a redesign project for a nonprofit or small business in your community. The next tip is show your design process. Add sketches, wireframes, and other relevant work to demonstrate how you arrived at your final design solution. Finally, consider Behance, Dribbble, Squarespace, or design tools like Figma and Webflow to build your portfolio. Phase number 4, seeking assistance. Networking. The actions that our persona takes here are: start looking for contacts in the UX UI field to approach, create online profile on design platforms, and searches for local design events. The pain points that she faces at this step are: lack of industry connections, uncertainty about how to approach professionals in this field, few options of local design events to attend to, and difficulty in finding design communities in her area. With all of this, at this step, she feels inspired. The tips and tricks for this phase are: start building your network by looking for people that you already know within the field. This way, it will be more comfortable to approach them. Create an online presence and start posting your work on platforms such as Behance and Dribbble. Build up a professional profile. LinkedIn is the best place to do this, as you can share your work, find connections, and look for open positions. Don't be afraid to approach someone if you find their work experience interesting. People are far more open to conversation than you think. And finally, finding a mentor, someone who can guide you and offer feedback, is a huge step in your progress. Now, we move on to the final phase, taking off, where we have two steps: job search and interview. For the job search, the actions that Emily takes are: updates her LinkedIn profile, researches positions on job boards and signs up for alerts, reads review on Glassdoor about companies, and applies to relevant jobs for her experience. The pain points at this step are: lack of experience, as many of the job postings require a certain amount of experience, and lack of confidence to apply to junior openings that ask for 1-2 years of prior experience. Here she feels very anxious. Now, tips and tricks for this step. Besides using job boards to find open positions, networking is essential. Attend industry events, join design communities, and connect with other designers on social media. These connections can help you learn about job openings and get referrals. Research companies that you would like to work for and apply directly on their website. Figure out if the company is a good fit for you by studying its culture. And look for job titles that are relevant to your skills and experience. Don't get discouraged by the amount of experience required. Apply anyway. Now, the final step, the interview. Emily gets invited to an interview for a junior UX UI designer position. She prepares by searching for tips and tricks online and asking advice from personal contacts. The pain points at this step are: little experience to draw from when answering interview questions, which can lead to low confidence, and difficulty answering design related questions due to lack of experience. Here she feels very determined and motivated to get a job. Enthusiasm goes a long way. Show your eagerness to learn, enthusiasm for the field, and willingness to take on new challenges. Be prepared to talk about the design projects you've worked on, focusing on the design process and the decision you made. Be prepared to answer questions about design principles and explain how you've applied them in your own design work. Practice design exercises for interviews. And finally, getting rejected in an interview is still valuable experience. It means you're one step closer to your goal. Learn from the experience and use it to prepare for the next one. Be cheerful and keep going. So, I hope that you enjoyed this content and please let me know what are your thoughts about this user journey map. See you in the next video. Bye!